Okay, hey everyone. Posting my first video of 3.27. I've been playing since the league launch and wanted to share some plans for an upcoming build and looking for some ideas because I'm not sure that this is really going to come together. But what I've got in the works right now is I have a level 65 chieftain that is my second character of the league. My first character was a berserker that I switched to Juggernaut, playing Earth Shatter to farm up. And now I already started the second character because I had this idea that I came across. I saw some other people also playing it, Elemental Hit. And so what people have been doing is converting the cold and lightning of Elemental Hit to fire through Avatar Fire and a couple of the rings that convert cold to fire and then lightning to cold. Avatar Fire here. And right now what I'm doing is I'm leveling this guy up as slams, and I'm thinking about making a switch once I get into like the 84, 85 range over to Elemental Hit. And yeah, there's my Elemental Hit that I'm leveling up, 20 quality. The goal here is to see how high I can get the Elemental Hit gem level, and a couple different ways to do it. The way that I thought might be really fun to do would be to use Crest of Desire and basically put one gem, the Elemental Hit, into a +8 Crest of Desire. The range, this is the top one that you can get. It's got bad quality, but I got this for like, I think 35 chaos because somebody posted it up for a good. I got this for 6 chaos. Somebody posted it because the other prices for like a +5 was like 5 chaos on trade, and I guess they didn't look at the gem level, so I just went to their hideout and picked it up. I feel bad, but they didn't know what they had. So I have this on the back burner. I might double corrupt this because I got it for so cheap, to see if I can get +2 additional gems on it. But so let's say we have a level 21 2120 Elemental Hit. Once I get my gems to that, you get +8 from this, and then I might grab +3 from this replica Dragon Fangs, which I already purchased in advance. So that's +11, and then let me go into Path of Building here. Okay, so in Path of Building, you have the Breach Lord bloodline, which gives +2 to level of all cold skill gems if you have 4 foulborn unique items and equipped, and +2 to lightning if you have 4 foulborn unique items equipped. So that's another +4 gem level. The Elemental Hit is both fire, cold, it's fire, cold, and lightning. So you can benefit from both of those, which granted does use 4 of your ascendancy points, but this one, it may or may not be worth it to use 4 ascendancy points for that, but it's kind of just for fun and to see how many, because it does add up quite a bit. I'll show you what the scaling looks like gem level wise. I mean, going from 21, that's 21 damage right there, down to what I'm trying to get to 36 to 38. So let's tack on the 8, gets to 29, +3 from Replica's Dragon Fang, 32, and then +4, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the 2 ascendancy points is 36. And then if you get the corruption on the helm, you can get +2 AoE gem, and that would take you to 38. So I'm not sure if that's the maximum, but 38, level 38 um, effectively is massive damage, and then what you do is you can convert the cold and the lightning into fire, and then it all becomes fire. And what I was thinking is you can do a massive um, fire hit, and on the chieftain, you can use the Enmity's Embrace to penetrate that fire resistance. Um, and the reason why that this is such a good idea this league, and maybe for this league only, is because of this item here and this foulborn um, modifier on it. 50% increased elemental and cold resistance, which offsets the 65% reduced fire resistance on this. And I don't know what the numbers are going to be like. I don't know how much fire resistance I'm going to get out of this yet, but it's going to be a lot better than last league. I'll say that. 50%, more. I should say more, but it really would be 15% reduced fire resistance after this 50% increased, which is really not that bad. So that's why I'm wearing this chest piece here, this body armor. Not so much for the +2 socketed gems. What I would use that for is, excuse me, probably put a Purity of Fire right here. I might try to find another one actually with 2 blue sockets, because I want to run Purity of Elements and also put an Enlighten on it too. Right now I don't have 2 blue, and you can't modify these sockets, so that's kind of annoying. But so that's why you have this piece here, and I put Elemental Overlord on it because I was thinking about using these claws, Imperial Claws, for the life per enemy hit, because as a defensive layer, I don't know really what the defenses are going to be on this chieftain yet, other than like 90 max res for cold fire and lightning, and then endurance charges. I'm going to use this pair of Ralakesh's Impatience and possibly Arn's Anguish, so we'd have maybe 7 endurance charges on this. I picked up this ring with a big amount of life on it, and with the Elegant Hubris, no attribute requirements, I can deal with the minus 90 dexterity thing without having to invest in dexterity. But just for those who don't really know the details of the elemental hit conversion and how elemental hit will work, I'm going to use 2 of these combat focused jewels to make it elemental hit only choose fire. These were not expensive at all, but I happened to find one real cheap with the 2% increased reservation. It was like the cheapest one that somebody, I guess, didn't know how valuable that implicit is, so I grabbed it early as I was collecting some of this stuff. This Fractured Claw is kind of what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a Deafening Essence of Zeal to get the 30% increased attack speed, and then craft on hits can't be evaded, and also maybe Elemental Pen, or there was something else. Maybe fire damage, I think, was the other one that you can craft onto this thing, if I recall. There's a 54, but there's an even better one here. 51 to 60 increased fire damage and 20% chance to ignite. So 60 fire damage, 20 ignite on this thing. It's going to have over 100 increased elemental damage with hits can't be evaded, and 30% attack speed. And then really the other suffix, other than the attack speed, I don't really care about too much. 7% crit already on the claw is enough at that attack speed to trigger the Elemental Overlord regularly. For those who don't know what I'm talking about with Elemental Overlord, it's this up here that you normally don't have easy access to as a Marauder without pathing all the way up there. And basically, it's a way to get a 40% more damage multiplier, other than, like, say, precise technique, which I don't really want to invest heavily in accuracy on this build. So I figured what I do have is the ability to, with high attack speed, get regular crits and keep this 40% more multiplier up, and that keeps me from having to invest heavily in critical strike on this build, because when you have the damage that we're going to be getting in just flat fire, you don't really need, I think, to have a whole lot of crit or anything like that, but we'll see. So that's the bare bones idea, but this may actually pivot. I was actually looking at, so let's go back to the ascendancy, the bloodline ascendancy for the Breach Lord. You need to use to trigger that, you need to get 4 foulborn uniques into this build, and there's a couple different ways to do it. First one I saw was dual wielding these tomahawks, these moonbender's wings, that have really high attack speed, 2.25, because of this foulborn modifier, 50% increased attack speed. So that would just be massive, attack speed that you don't have the life gain on hit from this, but you could get 10% instant leech perhaps instead of that. The other thing was that I was considering that I might actually land on ultimately is doing an ignite build with this, because of the massive amount of flat fire. And so the question here is, do I want to do hit based, or do I want to do ignite? And part of me, I was thinking about trying to just put together the hit based one without using the Breach Lord ascendancy, because it didn't necessarily seem worth it. And I like hit-based builds generally better than ignite builds, but because of this, I guess it's new, axe that just has a ridiculous amount of fire damage over time multiplier on it. I think you can dual wield it as far as I know, because it should be global, but we'll see. This makes ignite really tempting to do on either a berserker or even this chieftain. I might respec into berserker for this. I don't know if this scales with the berserker rage effect. I think it does, that you'd get 50% increased fire damage over time on the berserker with the ascendancy point. And then here's the Diadian Dawn foulborn version that just has, if I have a way to chill people, I would get 2% of recovery, life recovered. And then there's this. So what I was thinking, if I go berserker, if I don't stay on chieftain with the Valaco's max resistance, you could get a melding of the flesh and use that to get up to 90 elemental resistance. And these rings right here could go a long way to helping you get to that 90% without, say, having a mage blood, which I don't have right now, nor do I have the currency to get a mage blood. And mage blood is good because you can use the ruby flask for a lot of plus max res permanently up, but when you don't have that, this could be a great alternative, I think, for a very affordable price. These are very common apparently in this league right now, so I don't think it should be a problem. And with some catalysts on this thing, maybe speed catalysts, you can get that attack speed probably up to 48% increased attack speed per ring. What I think is going to happen with this build is you could put it together, it would have big damage, big ignites, and then you're going to have like no life. It's going to be like a 3k life build, and that's my biggest fear with it, that you're just going to insta die on every map that you go into. And that's why I was leaning towards the hit build, where I thought I might get some more life, but even so, with this stuff, there's no life on this, there's no life on this, no life on this, but you can get 15% from the life mastery. This has got some life, but this is barely any. It's a vermilion ring, but that's why on the gloves I picked up a fractured pair of gloves to make sure that I have life on this, and then I'm gonna roll chaos resistance maybe on it, or fire resistance on it. Was the idea here to synergize with Chieftain. But just some ideas here. This is a work in progress still, and this is not even the build I'm playing with Ground Slam of Earth Shaking right now just for fun while leveling. And I'm messing around with like this tornado that doesn't really work with my build that great, but it's fun. So yeah, just wanted to share this idea in case anybody else wanted to get on this and play around with it and maybe test out Enmity's Embrace with the Skin of the Lords as well and see what they came up with, an alternative to this perhaps. Like, I don't know if the Imperial Claws are really the best. I was thinking about maybe Nebulox, or I don't know what, dual wielding Nebulox or something with endurance charge stacking. That could be something somebody might want to test out. But these axes actually look like a ton of fun. That maybe I will test this out first, as it seems like more damage, which in this game, damage is a good thing to have. You don't want to be, Z DPS trying to fight bosses, but it's going to be probably very squishy, which makes me. There's some hope, obviously. Chieftain, good max res, endurance charges, but I'm not quite sure that we'll be at 90% fizz dam reduction on this build just yet. And I don't have, with this, I would have loved to throw Cloak of Flame in there for 40% fire, fizz taken as fire, but that's on the hit-based build with Enmity's Embrace. I really can't afford to lose this. This is a one league only type thing that I don't want to miss out on. So that's the trade-off. There is probably a lot of survivability, and this also has no armor on it. So it's a lot of trade-offs here that need to be explored. So. Let me know what you guys think about. Obviously this is all about, for me, fire. Tectonic Fire Lord is my character here, and I'm trying to make a fire build. Either hit based or ignite based on this alt character. This is probably gonna be my end goal for the league. I'll use the Earth Shatter Juggernaut that I have right now to farm up currency to fund this build. I've been playing around with some crafts, trying to craft for profit some axes that because a lot of people are playing Earth Shatter, so they need these Vol axes. So I'm trying to profit craft a few of those and see where it goes. Okay, that's it for now, but I'm going to be posting some more stuff in the coming days as well, and progress on this character. But it's good to be back, making some videos in 3.7. I'm actually loving the league and the breaches. The only thing about a slam build on these breaches is that it's kind of hard to do some of the fortresses where you don't have. I don't feel like I have enough AOE to kill the guys that are attacking the person in the middle who I need to defend, and so that's part of why I'm looking for a different build, something that can clear that content a little better. Maybe like Ignite Prolif is going to be the way to go. And that's the other thing, is that for anybody who wants to play around with the Ignite build, you'll want to have a source of Ignite proliferation, which you can get it from something like this. This is the effect: spread to other enemies within 1.2 meters. You can also get it on your gloves as an implicit from, I believe it's, actually I don't know which one it is. I think it's the Searing Exarch Ember that you're going to use to get the it's like 1.4 or something that you can get or more on the gloves spreading. And then the other option that you can do that I know of is fan the flames on a cluster jewel, is the way that I might probably go about doing it. Actually, I could probably, no, I would use the implicit on my gloves for the strike skills target 2 additional nearby enemies for the clear speed of that, and then I would use Fan the Flames from a cluster jewel to get my Ignite prolif. And I would not recommend giving up a socket or using something else. The Crest of Desire is really cool for hit-based builds because it gives double damage. I'm curious whether I could do a hybrid hit-based and Ignite build with this, just given how much fire damage I'm going to have. So the double damage is not going to increase the Ignite damage part of it, but it will increase the hit damage, which I think will make it fun. So you still are not like hitting for 0 damage and everything is from Ignite. There'll still be a hit component there, which actually kind of maybe is the perfect thing for what I enjoy playing. So we'll see about that. But that's all for now. If I missed anything, just let me know. If you wanted to talk about anything here or have some ideas. Looking forward to seeing what other people come up with some of these items, like some pretty cool foulborn uniques this league. So, all right, see you guys.